We're in a 2015 Ford Focus. We're going to do our Ford Focus remote starter with our LC Pro Evo All T-harness assembly. First step is to remove the screws from the underside of the steering column. We want to extend the steering column all the way out, and we need a T15 Torx for the first screw. So we're going to use hand Torx to get on this one. It's so far back we can't get the drill up there unless we have a really long extension. Okay, we've got the screws out of the column. We're going to go ahead and put the key in the ignition, turn the wheel to the 9 o'clock position. We're going to access this tab right here. It's hard to see. Try to bring the wheel down. Show you the tab. We're going to release these tabs here and on the other side of the wheel. We're going to use a regular screwdriver to do this. And we're going to turn the wheel to the 3 o'clock position, and we're going to do the same thing. Now we can pop the top off, and we're just going to leave the top sitting up here. Going to return the wheel to the straight position at this point. Okay, we're going to shut the key off and remove it from the ignition. Now pop the lower piece of the steering column plastic off. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to open the OBD2 cover, and we're going to release the diagnostic plug from its holder. We're going to push the tabs on the side, and we're going to get the diagnostic plug back through this opening after we release it through the top. This will give us access to the can high and can low. There isn't a lot of wire here, so it makes it a little bit difficult to tap these wires. We're looking for the can high and can low on this plug. We're going to go 3 terminals in from this side. We're going to go 3 terminals in from this side. And we're going to locate the gray with an orange stripe and the violet with an orange stripe. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our 3M taps on. We want to make sure that the wire is down in this groove when we close the taps on the wire. Now we're going to do the can low, which is violet and orange. Make sure we get the taps on right. You can cut the wire or damage the wire if you don't put them on correctly. Okay, now that we have our taps in place, we're ready to plug everything in. Okay, we're going to be dealing with 2 plugs. We're going to be dealing with the immobilizer plug, which is located right here. And we're going to be dealing with the main ignition plug, which is located right here. First step, we're going to unplug the immobilizer plug from the vehicle. Now we're going to unplug the main ignition plug. You want to always support the switch when we're plugging and unplugging the plugs in. The main ignition plug unplugged and the immobilizer plug unplugged. We'll now take our T-harness assembly and we'll plug our T-harness in. We're going to plug into the immobilizer car harness, and we're going to plug into the immobilizer at the ignition switch. Now we're going to plug in the main ignition plug. And we're going to plug the vehicle's main ignition plug into the T-harness. We're also going to connect the can high and can low in the next step. Okay, we've tapped the can high and can low. Now we're going to connect the wires. We're going to connect the solid gray to the can high, which is gray with an orange stripe. And we're going to make sure our taps plug in correctly. And then we're going to plug our can low, which is gray with a black stripe, into our violet with an orange stripe. We're going to route the wires through the back. Okay, got the wires down, routed through the back, so when we put this back together, we don't have to unplug this again. We're going to go ahead and we're going to program the Evo wall. The programming procedure will require 2 OEM keys to complete programming. The job can be done with 1 key if you have a flash link programmer. First step is to remove all of the plugs from the Evo wall. We're starting with the data plug. It's the 4-pin plug. The 20-pin plug. It's a clip on the top. We're going to press and release. The red plug and the white plug goes to our can high and can low, which is already unplugged. We're going to hold the program button down. We're going to plug in the data plug. We want to release when the red and the blue light are on. So we're letting it cycle, and we're releasing on red and blue. If we miss it, it will cycle back around to red and blue, or we can unplug the data plug and repeat the procedure. We're now going to plug in the 20-pin plug, and we're going to be careful not to touch the program button again. We're going to plug the red plug in, and we're going to plug the 20-pin or the can high, can low plug in. At this point, we're ready to begin programming. Okay, we're going to introduce both keys to the vehicle, and then for the final step, we're going to press the program button again on the Evo. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It has to be done in a timely fashion. We're inserting the first key in, we're turning it to the run position. I'm going to shut it off, put the second key in, turn it to the run position. We're going to shut that key off, remove it, and then we're going to press the program button on the Evo wall. The Evo is going to program the immobilizer and the CAN network, and then all the lights are going to go out on the Evo. The ignitions of the vehicle will shut off automatically. The Evo wall is now programmed. We can go ahead and test our system by locking the doors 3 times with the OEM remote. This will trigger the Evo wall to start the vehicle. And we see that we have no errors on the dash and the vehicle is running. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to hold the brake pedal. The vehicle will shut off. This confirms that we have data communication between our remote starter module and our Evo wall. We're now going to make sure we have our antenna plugged into our LC Pro. Antenna goes in the top black port. Do not plug the antenna into the white port. It will fit, but this is a lock port. So we want to have it plugged into the black port. And we can control the vehicle also from our long-range single button remotes. And we'll press and hold for 3 seconds. This will trigger the LC Pro to start the vehicle. And we can shut it off from our OEM remote as well. It's a simple installation. Once the Evo is programmed, everything in the LC Pro is preset. The installation is complete except for the optional connections, which would be the parking lights. One of the things I do for the parking lights is leave the parking lights in the auto position. Now when you remote start it, the parking lights will come on at night. This eliminates the need to have to connect the parking lights. To connect the parking lights on this vehicle, you must go over to the passenger side of the vehicle and make the connections at the BCM.